The results are in. The playoffs have been set. New Year's 6 games have been set. And as we speak, some of the other bowl games are being set and have been set. I know everybody's got a opinion on how this should have went down. We're going to get into all of that, man. We're going to start off with the playoffs, then the New Year's 6, and some of the other games, man. And listen, we're going to have a lot of guests on the show. Hopefully everybody in the comments are going to contribute. And we're going to have a good time. Hey, listen, man, just remember, I know this is a touchy subject for some teams and fans, but let's keep it respectful. Let's get into it.
No, I got you on this one, Coach. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The fanatic. But we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. The FANATIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call.
All right, man. Welcome in, college football fans, to our college football playoff and New Year's 6, also bowl reaction show, man. Again, like I say, I invited a lot of people. We don't know who all going to show up, but it's going to be a good discussion. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. First up in the building is our guy from Hall of Fame College Football, is Jason. What's going on, Jason?
What's up, my man? Just
man, we in here.
Talk it up.
All right, before we get started, man, for the people that's new, man, tell them where they can find you at.
You can find us at CFB-pod right here on YouTube or at hofmedia.us on the internet. I'm always over there on Twitter too at JW_HOF.
There it is, man. If you haven't checked them out, make sure you get to the channel, man. Like and subscribe to the channel, man, and share it with your people. Next up, man, it's our guy, Shawty, Thad Parker, man. Just my damn opinion. What's up, Shawty?
Fellas, what's happening?
What's going, man? How you feeling today?
Hey, man, you see I got the sun blockers on, It is what it is, man. I don't want to harp on it, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I feel some kind of way, but I respect it and I understand.
Why?
That's right, man. Tell the people where they can find you, man, before we get started.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you, man. You guys can find me Wednesday night, 9:30. Just my damn opinion. News, sports, music, a little bit of everything. I talk about a little everything, barbershop talk. You can also find me on Respect the Hedges, Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. And believe it or not, I'm always hanging at Jason. I think I done finally got me a little spot at his crib on Hall of Fame Network. So whenever they on there, you'll probably see me there too.
Big facts, man. Let's go ahead and bring up our guy Nathan from Big 12 Mafia. What's going on, Nathan?
How we doing, guys? Good to see you.
Hey, man, glad you was able to have some time for us, man. How you feeling today on Selection Sunday?
I'm not surprised at all. I said this last night. It's not like I was Nostradamus or anything, but anybody who knows college football and has followed the history should not be shocked and surprised Florida State got screwed. At the same time, Alabama, man, they came to play, and I wanted Georgia in myself. So.
Hey, it goes like that, man. They earned it, man. So before we get into it, Nathan, tell the people where they can find you at, man.
I'm at Big 12 Mafia on YouTube, and then you can find me there on my name below me here on Twitter.
There it is, man. Y'all make sure to get out to all these guys' channel, man, and subscribe to their content, man. That's how you support these guys, man. We got some people in here already, man. I'm gonna shout out some people. My guy Jonathan, listen, man. Jonathan is one of the first guys I met doing this YouTube things. A big Alabama fan, realistic Alabama fan. He says, "Roll Tide." Hey, listen, it is. Hey, man, congrats on the win and getting a spot in the playoffs. Stephen G in the building. What's going on? Sooner Cowboys is in here. Say we went 7-0 just to lose to Kansas, Oklahoma State. Hey, man, you gotta handle it just like Georgia, man. You gotta handle your business when you're on the field. Thunder, OU, Sooner. What's going on, my man? What bowl game is Oklahoma State and USC going to? Hopefully we'll know that. They're going through that stuff right now. We got some of them, but we don't have all of them. So if you know of a team that's already been named to a bowl game that's not a New Year's 6, not a playoff game, and it's not Oklahoma because we already got all of that, Let us know in the comments. Stephen G is here. Quality losses more than quality wins. I ain't gonna disagree with that. Lone Wolf, what's going on, man? We're glad you're up in the building, man. Mars Jam is up in the house. Say, let's go Sooners. That's right, man. Kim, we appreciate you getting in. Say, what's up? What's up? My boy AP, what's going on? Antonio Patches, AP in the building. That's right, man. Hey, man, listen, Mike Wilkerson, Mike Dub, how you feeling today, man? Y'all got y'all bowl matchup set. T Boomer is in the house. What's going on, T? We appreciate all of y'all. Let's see who else we got. We got Gen Z 214. Okie Light is playing A&M. Let us know the bowl game, and we'll definitely touch on a little bit later. Matt Blackwell gets in. Yeah. Matt Blackwell said the Texas Bowl. Okay, I got you.
That's hilarious.
Okay. All right, Talking Sauce going on. Hey, I know you feeling good. Talking Sauce is a Florida fan. I know they're not going bowling, but the next best thing is to watch your main rival not go to the bowl that they want to go to. So I know you feeling good today, Tim. So Danny is in the building, man. We got a lot of people in the building, man, and let's not belabor the point, man. Let's go ahead and start out with the playoffs, man. Listen, got Michigan versus Alabama. Alabama did get that 4th spot. At the end of the day, and I think we all kind of agree, if you're talking, there's two ideologies. There's best teams, there's deserving teams. Deserving teams is Florida State. Best teams, hey man, it's Alabama. Like nobody would pick Florida State to be any of the top 4, maybe 5 or 6 teams or whatever. So I get it. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying the committee has said over and over and over it's the best 4 teams, and Florida State is not, in my opinion, one of the best 4 teams. Shawty, Michigan, Alabama, man. Did they get the matchup right?
Yes, just in terms of, what you just stated in terms of what they consider the 4 best teams for that matchup. I don't want to throw a monkey wrench in there, but if you're just saying best 4 teams, I guess it's all subjective. Then why isn't Georgia in there?
Hey, good. Yeah. Hey, listen, I mean, I don't disagree.
I didn't mean to change the subject. I'm sorry.
No. That's what we're here to talk about, Nathan. Michigan, Alabama, man. I know deserving Florida State probably should be here, but do you think they should be there when talking about the best?
I don't. No, I don't think that they qualified. At the end of the day, you have teams that earned their way in, and we saw this coming in April and May. Anybody who's been watching college football and realignment stuff knew the ACC had been devalued. That's why you heard all the noise out of their schools. Clemson, Florida State, UNC, they want out. So I don't think this should be a surprise to anybody. At the end of the day, they want the teams that are going to go in there and draw the most eyeballs. They want the Colorados that bring 10 million fans to a regular season game. And we all laugh at that, but that's what it's about. It's about money. So the ACC's on a time limit right now. And you could easily see before the end of the year, Florida State and maybe other schools saying, hey, we're out. Peace. This isn't worth it. We'll write you a check for $250 million and hit the road, Jack.
There it is, man. Jason, what before y'all give y'all opinion, man, I'd like to welcome to the show our next guest, and it is Coach Roy Ball of the Hall of Fame College Football. What's going on, Coach?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing today?
Hey, man, feeling good, man. Just getting into these playoff talks, man. Everybody's going around. I'm about to get to Jason, man. Talking about this Michigan game, man. This Michigan game, Michigan, Alabama. Jason, I mean, I know your feelings, but let everybody out there in the public know, man. We're talking about best versus deserving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, listen, and that's where I've kind of been on the whole thing. Is that, look, I think without Jordan Travis, they're not one of the best 4 teams. That's the simplest point of the whole deal, is that it's best 4. Without Jordan Travis, there's no way they're the best 4. I understand that they went 13-0. I understand that they played their schedule and they won all the games. I get it. In the end, when you put up 16 points on Louisville, they didn't look that good against Florida last week without Jordan. It is what it is. And you've got teams that are out there that, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you, I don't think that you still have the best 4 in there. I still don't think you do. But
Hey,
that being said, I don't have a problem with them leaving FSU out. I understand why everybody, talking about deserving versus whatever. And I know coach is about to shit all over what I'm saying right here. But I'm telling you now, to me, it's the best 4 teams are supposed to be in this thing. Now, it's rare that you actually get the best 4 teams, and I don't think that they got all 4 best teams. But that being said, if you're trying to do it that way, they have every right to do what they did with this group.
big facts. Coach, talking about that Michigan-Alabama game, Alabama getting the 4th spot over Florida State. Best versus deserving. You tell us, did the committee get it right? Should Alabama be in? Should Florida State be in? Or should Georgia have been in that 4th spot?
Well, hell, my whole thing is let's just quit playing all the damn games. let's just pick them. Because at the end of the day, guys, and I think Jason said it too, that they still don't have the best 4. I mean, if that's what our goal is, then let's accomplish our goal, because and not because you guys are Georgia guys, but Georgia needs to be in that 4. Alabama and Georgia, Michigan, Washington, and at the end of the day, I hear what people are saying. Jason and I had this conversation earlier about Florida State. Yeah, they're playing with a 13 quarterback, but you know what they did, guys? They only won 13 games, or they won all their games they played in, and whether they had Travis or not, they still beat people's asses. And at the end of the day, so 13-0 doesn't mean shit. I just struggle with that personally. I know we all have our different thoughts and ideas. As Shawty says, just my damn opinion. But that's just my damn opinion. I don't understand why you play all these damn football games if you're gonna discount wins and losses. But again, we can have all kinds of we can come from so many angles, guys. We can talk, we can look at strengths of schedules and who played the best schedules, and I mean, there's a lot of ways to look at it. But at the end of the day, I still think Florida State should have been in, whether they're not one. At this point, obviously, they're probably not one of the best 4. But how do we know?
I don't think that they could beat anybody in the top 8 without Jordan
Travis. You don't think that, but have they played the game? Just because you think it doesn't make it right. Because until you play somebody on the playing field, you don't know what the score is going to be. Yeah, I don't give a damn who it is. I've seen games that you're supposed to get beat by 50 and there's an upset. So we don't know that. Unless it's played, you don't know.
And it's always going to be that subjectivity in college football because there is so many teams, you know what I'm saying? Unless they was to break off and let just the so-called Power 5 be a league and then the G5 be a league or whatever, you're always going to have that subjectivity. Sure. My guy, TK Kennedy, he played at Clemson. Shout out to my boy, TK. He said, regardless of the SEC arguments, they disrespected the Power 5 championship meaning here, which is what coach is saying. Bias for Bama is clear. Got to get that coming down. He said, that being said, I'm glad they are in so they can beat cheating Michigan. Listen, I seen somebody earlier said that Michigan's not one of the best 4 teams. Like you said, Coach said, man, like in Shawty, it's all subjective. And somebody said Texas wasn't one of the best 4 teams. And one thing I think, and we'll talk about this a little bit when we talk about Oklahoma, but they gave Texas a lot of credit for beating Bama, which they should have. But when it came to the New Year's Six Bowl, Oregon got in, and they haven't. I know how they've looked, eye test, but they ain't beat nobody. Oklahoma beat the team that they got in the playoffs. So I mean, it can all go subjectively different ways. So hey, it is what it is. So we got next up, man. We got that Washington and Texas game in the Sugar Bowl. So now Washington's coach said they had a they had a resume good enough for number 1. Nathan, you think they had a had something to say about number one? Because I guess he was wanting to, of course, he's wanting to play in the Rose Bowl because he's number 2. He has to play in the Sugar Bowl.
Right. That's it. You got it. Yeah. Washington should have been the number 1 seed. They should have been playing in Pasadena. And if you watched all these teams play, Michigan cheated. Everybody knows that. So Washington's getting screwed. Just like Florida State, Washington's on the edge. No, I'm teasing. I would have loved them to play in the Rose Bowl. That would have been a home game. And Texas has to travel, and they don't always travel well going west. Although last time they were there, they beat USC. So who knows? But as long as they're in the Final Four, that's all I care about. Washington's a good team. Penix should win the Heisman. I know Jalen Daniels played phenomenally this year, but I think he played better competition. So I think Washington getting in is great, and that's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, in my opinion, Washington, when you talk about resume, I know Michigan won the Big Ten and beat Ohio State and Penn State, but I feel like Washington did it more times throughout the year than they did. So, and, not for nothing, they beat, Oregon, who is one of the playoff New Year's Six teams. They beat them twice at home on the neutral field. So I think they definitely had a case, Shawty, for that number 1 spot. What you think?
I'm right in alignment with you guys. Definitely Washington should have been the number 1 seed for sure, based off their schedule and what they have done. I wanted to say this to Mike before he got off the show. I didn't know how long Mike was going to be on the show. Did I answer your question, Coach? I did answer your question, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think Mike said something that was very important to me, at least, that I thought he hit it on the head. And I'm a follow the money type of guy. And that's kind of been his theme since he's come on this show. If you follow the money, you kind of have an idea of what's going to happen. And I've been saying for a long time, I think there's going to basically be 2 or 3 mega conferences.
Me too.
And what's going to happen is Mike hit it on the head. What we just saw happen to Florida State is the fastest way to get the top teams out of the conference because they know they can't play for it.
Big facts, man. Money always, we all know, we watch college football. We know college football is $1 billion business. Money always has something to do with it. Shout out to Neilio, man. He's getting in. He says, good Sunday afternoon. Always enjoying the content and football talk. Here's to a great show. We definitely appreciate you, man. Neilio is a Kansas State fan, right, Jason?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Neilio,
he's our boy from KC Mo.
Yeah, man. Like, hey, got a lot to look forward to in that new Big 12 coming up, man. Let's go ahead and welcome into the show another guest, man. It's our guy, Sidelines Penn State, Andrew. What's going on, Andrew?
What's up, Andrew? How are we doing today, gentlemen?
Hey, doing pretty good, man. Listen, we talking about that. We talked about the Sugar Bowl, not Sugar Bowl. I'm sorry, the Rose Bowl, and then now we're talking about that Sugar Bowl. So it's that Washington and Texas matchup. Andrew, how you feeling about that matchup?
That is so.
Should Washington be the number 1 team, or did they get it right?
Washington should be the number 1 team, but hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. But I mean, look at this matchup. What isn't this going to be a fun game? Quinn Ewers versus Michael Penix. You have playmakers on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah,
I think this is a great thing just for the uniforms are looking really cool, purple versus orange, and it's going to be in New Orleans, so the crowd's going to be lit. That's a fun game, and the other game, the other premier game, it's also going to be close. I believe both games have about a 4-point spread, give or take. So people are projecting this to be a close game, and I think that's what we kind of deserve. But this game stood out to me. I think Washington does win, but heck, I'm happy to be wrong because I think it's going to be a high-scoring, high octane affair.
So Lone Wolf gets in, and I didn't even remember this. Washington played Texas in a bowl game last year.
Alamo Bowl.
Oh, that's okay. See this, man. All of that stuff plays a part in it. You know what I'm saying? Let's say, for instance, everything would have went crazy and Georgia would have been in. I could have seen them putting Georgia against Texas in the Sugar Bowl just to have a rematch from, years ago. It's like, again, money, perception, name on the helmet. Listen, all of that plays a part. I'm telling you, that's what they talk about, because when one team beats, every win isn't equal. Whether it's fair or not, every win is not equal. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like if I don't know, for instance, Ole Miss had to beat, won and got into the SEC championship and they beat Georgia. I think it doesn't count as much against Georgia as Alabama beating Georgia. So that's it. Listen, the professor gets in and says FSU fans need to stop crying. They can come to the SEC and play a schedule like Florida. I know y'all Gator fans are definitely enjoying Florida State not being in the playoffs. Shout out to the professor for donating to the Hall of Fame channel. Nathan, I know you got limited on time, man. Before you get out of here, because we're going to move on to the New Year's Six, give me your top four. Like if you whatever you want, whatever criteria you want to base it on, give me your top four.
Yeah, I like Texas, but I think Georgia and Alabama should have been in. So okay. I would have picked Washington first. I would have put Michigan second, even though they should be disallowed, and then I would have gone Alabama and then Georgia. So.
I got you. I don't. And then before we move on, we're gonna get everybody's take on that, and I like that take because, listen, at the end of the day, cheating is cheating. If you're gonna say if you suspended him, then you had basis on it.
Right.
I don't mind, that Michigan made it, but if you're gonna stick to the rules, cheating is cheating.
That's right. It's only cheating if you get caught, guys.
Come on, what I'm saying? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, but it is what it is. Right. Listen, we'll see. Shawty, your top four, your best deserving, whatever you want to say, your top four, now that all the games have been played.
Okay. Was his name Mike or Nathan?
Nathan. I thought you were talking about Mike Wilkinson.
I apologize, Nathan. I was talking about Nathan. So I need to give that credit to Nathan. That's who I was talking about. So I apologize, Nathan. I called you
that's
Mike.
Okay. No problem, Shawty. It's good to see you, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. So I was giving that credit to you. With that being said, definitely I think my top four, just if I had it without any other opinions, Georgia, Alabama, Washington, and Texas.
There it is. So, hey, man, this is what goes on. That's why they got 13 people in the room that at the end of the day, they have to do this. They have to make and then I'm pretty sure they have to make a case when they don't agree. I think everyone agreed on Michigan and Washington in that room. And then it was the argument, Jason, on the other four. Without, like I say, regardless of what you doing deserving best, who your top four?
My top four, if I could just pick four that I think are the best four teams, it'd be Michigan, Georgia, Alabama, Texas.
Okay, there it is. Michigan, Georgia, Alabama, Texas. Like I say, man, you can make a case for all of these guys. I look at it like this. When you say best four, I'm looking at, if you got 6 teams, I'm looking at who would I favor against who. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like, I don't think if Florida State thinks they're one of the best 4 teams, I don't think they would be favored. And I know what coach like you can upset whoever, but I don't know if anybody would pick Florida State to beat anybody. But coach, with that said, if it was up to you, who's your 4?
And we know it ain't, boys. Washington, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida State / Michigan.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's all and with me, I'm kind of like if I'm looking at the best 4 teams in my personal opinion, then I'm looking at Washington, Georgia, Bama, and Michigan. That's just what I think at this particular time. Mid-season, maybe I say something different, but right now, after all the games have been played, that's what I say. Andrew, what do you got on it, man? If it's up to you, what 4 are you putting in?
Number 1, Washington. Number 2, Michigan. Number 3, Texas. Number 4, Florida State.
There it is.
We play the games for a reason. Mm-hmm. They won every single game. I know Jordan Travis is out. I know the Tate Rodmaker wasn't even playing, but what's the point? And they tried to schedule teams outside of their own division. They scheduled LSU and they played Clemson well. And, it's this whole thing of they went 13-0. And even after the injury, the team, TEAM, rallied together and they won the ACC championship. So I give them that deserving spot. Or else, why are we playing these games? Because if Alabama's just going to be in every time, well, why are we even playing?
Hey, You right. Listen, I ain't got no qualms about it. I'm just everybody's different opinion, and this is the not dilemma, but this is the interest in college football.
Yeah.
Again, because there's so many teams.
Yeah.
The NFL only has 32 teams, something like that. So they're able to just division champ, boom, division champ, boom, division champ. And then they even have wild cards, but they have a format calculated for the wild card. It's not, hey man, this team played in a hard division. At the end of the day, it don't matter how hard your division is in the NFL. You just win your division, you're in. And until it goes to something like that, we're gonna always have content to talk about.
So, well, and you know, Coach, next year we're not going to be having this, not quite this conversation, because when you get 12 in, I mean, at the end of the day, let's be honest, who really gives a shit about 10, 11, and 12? Right. I mean,
Coach, don't say that. Oh, you would have been left out this year, and they would have been so
would have we. We'd have been the same way.
Listen, I was about to say, I don't think it'll be this conversation, but it's still going to be a conversation because 13, 14, and 15 definitely think they should have been in. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, if we look at it, Oregon is in. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to get to their bowl game, but I was saying earlier, their resume doesn't say anything that they should be in over Oklahoma. I mean, they haven't beaten anybody. That's what y'all say. We play the games. That's what we're saying, right? So they haven't beaten the top 25 team all year. Their best claim to fame, we lost to Washington. That's their claim to fame.
But to kind of Nathan's point, Coach, and everybody, would the money drive for more spots?
That's right.
Right.
Listen, and I think Nathan,
it's going to go to 16 in 2026 anyway. It's going to get to there.
Mentioned it when he came on here. It's like Colorado brought eyes to the table. Whether you wanted them to lose or you wanted them to win, they brought eyes to the table. Dan Lannon, it's something about like the brashness of hit because we play for game wins, not clicks, and all that stuff. I'm not saying that played a part in it, but Oregon was like the media darling going down the stretch. Oklahoma wasn't, and it's not to say that because I think Oklahoma could listen. I think Oklahoma deserves, like you say, to be in. They got the better wins. They beat Texas. Texas got a lot of credit for beating Alabama. Guess who beat Texas? Oklahoma.
And you don't get no credit for that. And then they beat another. They're the only team in the country that beat 2 conference champions.
So I mean, that's the thing about the committee is. It's a different argument. It's like right now, I was telling Jason off camera when you talk about the GOAT in the NBA, if it's a Jordan, LeBron conversation, it's always rings. But if you say, okay, rings, well, then what about Kareem and what about Bill Russell? They're like, Jordan was the NBA. The argument changes. That's how it is. And that's how this playoff committee selection does it. When it's a Texas Bama, it's head to head. When it's a Bama and the game mattered. But when it's a Bama, Florida State,
the number one metric that they don't put on there is what we've been talking about with Nathan led off on. The number one metric that they really take into consideration is money, but they don't put it in there. You know what I'm saying?
Nathan, you get ready to
Coach,
say something.
Really quick, one other note is let's look ahead to next year. You have 5. They're talking about 5 conference champions. It's going to be a 5+7. And that means that the G5 gets one of those spots. So we're going to have the same conversation next year when Tulane goes 10-2 and is the best G5 school. They're going to end up having a guaranteed slot because that's the only way they could get that negotiated out. So the next year, it's going to be 12 teams. In 26, I've said this before. Jason has heard me say this. Maybe you did to both coaches. I think it's going to be 16 teams because of what happened today. It's going to go to 16 teams. You're going to have as many teams in as possible. And there's not going to be any discussion about the anger that Oregon is showing today that they're playing a Liberty team in a New Year's Six Bowl, but which, by the way, people that claim they've been in a New Year's Six Bowl, that hasn't had any value for like 25 years. Just taking that as a claim to fame doesn't mean anything because it doesn't mean you won the game.
Money.
It just means you got to the game. And there's a huge difference between winning the game and getting into the game. So it's all going to change. We're going to go to a 12 and then 16 team format. And the money's just going to come rolling in, billions and billions of dollars.
Oh man,
And
listen, people gonna tune
everybody's
into
going
this
to get it.
12-team playoff. That the money on the 12-team playoff TV ratings is gonna be stupid.
Right.
Shout out to EMA, says I'm from Australia. He can't believe how 13 people get to decide who makes the playoff. Listen, to think this is supposed to be the better system from where we came from, where they just pick the champion. They just say, hey, you won the right bowl game, you're number one. All right.
We can't get 6 people to agree on the 4 teams, and that's just
right.
us.
That's right.
Well, it goes back to the money, because now everybody who normally wouldn't watch those bowl games, between 9, 10, 11, and 12, they tied into it because of the money in that part of the pick'em. You know what I mean?
If there's money, Notre Dame, Ohio State's going to be in it every single time because that's just money. Alumni base has eyeballs.
Yep.
This is a television show. They don't care about the game. They care about the money, the ratings, and the numbers. And that is what they're trying to do. This is a television show.
So my guy Jeff Harrison, he's a Florida State fan, man. He's heartbroken today. He say the games don't matter. Say, how is it fair? How's that fair? Listen, that's what Coach Roybal was talking about. That's what Andrew was talking about. You play the games that at the end of the day, some games mean something in the playoff committee's eyes, and some games don't. Like Jordan Travis had an interesting tweet earlier today, and shout out to the professor for getting in on Jason's link. And it says, if Clemson had FSU record and the same thing, do they get in? If Cade Copeland wasn't playing, then the same thing happens. They don't get in. If Cade's not playing, then no. They talked about on ESPN. Listen, and we all know whether it's fair or unfair, the quarterback gets the blame, he gets the credit, whatever it is. Right. If you don't have your starting guy, and especially a guy of the caliber of Jordan Travis, and what his Twitter
Heisman candidate,
his tweet said he wished he broke his leg earlier in the year so we could have seen Florida State as they see Florida State.
I give him props for that tweet, by the way, though. I do give him a lot of props for that tweet.
Any losses, any losses in September and the first week of October, they're devalued.
They always say if you're gonna
nobody
lose,
remembers
lose early.
those games. Nobody knows those.
Yes.
The only exception to that is the Michigan-Ohio State game. Every other team it's better to lose in September or October than it is to lose on championship Sunday, like Georgia sees now, right? They're totally getting jobbed. They're obviously one of the top 4 teams. Anybody that's doing a decent look at all the teams back to back, Georgia has been the best team for 3 years. 1 or 2 defensive breakdowns yesterday, and we're not talking about Alabama at all. So I just think that the whole system's broken. It needs to be blown up. And I kind of chuckle because I'm a fan of a team that's not only out west, but has been disenfranchised for decades. And I kind of laugh to myself that, there's other people that are now feeling the same pain. The Boise State pain, the TCU pain, the Utah pain. It's been real out west. And now finally somebody in the East has to feel it. And not jumping on anybody's tombstones. I think FSU earned their way in, like Coach said, but that's the system that we have. And right now it's about money and eyeballs, and everything else doesn't matter. I got to go, Coach. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No problem. We're glad you came in for us. You gave us a good 30 minutes. So we good, man. We know you got stuff to do. We appreciate you. Y'all make sure y'all go check out Big 12 Mafia and at the Holy Rivals on YouTube, man. Subscribe to the channel. Always good Big 12 content, BYU content, college football content all around. We appreciate you, Nathan.
Oh, no problem. It's great to see
nothing but gems, man. You can drop number gems, Nathan. All gems.
I appreciate that, Shawty. Thank you very much. Bye-bye, Jason, Coach.
All right, brother.
You bet. See you later.
Later.
Yeah, man. So, and he talked about Georgia, man, and Georgia is matched up with Florida State in the New Year's 6 on December the 30th. This is a rematch of the Sugar Bowl from Mark Richt's first SEC title in 2002, where we played them in the Sugar Bowl. I'm sorry, and I said the orange. I said Sugar earlier. I meant the Orange Bowl. Listen, this is what both fan bases are gonna say. Let me tell you right now. Oh, we don't have everybody. Oh, it don't mean nothing. Listen, at the end of the day, you can use this bowl game to see what your team might look like next year. While Georgia's going to be missing portal people and they're going to be missing NFL people, there still will be 80% of the roster still left. And the guys that show up, most of them, some of them will hit the portal in the spring, but most of them will be back. Same thing for Florida State. They got NFL guys. They're going to have portal guys out. So when you use the excuse of, well, we didn't have such and such, well, guess what? The other team didn't have such and such as well. So I think this is a good matchup, as far as, resume, record, whatever. If FSU, the FSU was 5, Georgia was 6. I think that's a good matchup in terms of ranking. So we'll see what they got. I think Georgia will come out favored, to start this off because of the quarterback situation. Although Tate Rodemaker will be back, he will be able to get some reps. He was in, I want to say he was in concussion protocol, if I'm not mistaken. So he should be back, barring any injuries. And not for nothing, the word on the street is Carson Beck should be coming back next year. So he should be our starter for this game as well. So, Shawty, what you think of this matchup, man?
Okay, get it out of the way. All right. So I'm going to say, this is the ultimate slap in the face. I know we just changed segments, but this is the ultimate slap in the face, because now you have arguably probably the better team who should be in the playoffs. And you also have the most deserving team who should be in the playoffs. And you have them face each other. That's like the ultimate slap in the face. You know what I mean?
That's a good point, Shawty. Well, a lot of people still, even after the loss, consider the best team, and then the team that you consider the most deserving team. Because not for nothing, Florida State did. Yeah.
Yeah. Well done.
Hey, that's
well
great.
Done.
Oh, listen, Steve B, why don't you like the New Year's 6 matchups? All right. I know Oklahoma didn't make the New Year's 6, but the matchups themselves, the only other team I thought we might have matched up with was Ohio State, but we saw that last year, and I don't know if they wanted to see that again, So that's the only thing I would say. Coach, what you think about this matchup? Just talking about, like I say, Florida State was 5, Georgia was 6. Seems like a good matchup in the Orange Bowl to me.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. I couldn't agree with Shawty more. I mean, wow, what a slap in the face to put those two together. But at the end of the day, here we go. And according to a lot of people, Georgia's going to beat the shit out of them because Alabama or Florida State couldn't beat anybody anyway.
I'll say it again. They are. This is the game that's going to show you why they didn't belong in the freaking playoff right here.
Mm-hmm. There you go. And see that's why it's a catch-22. You can't have it both ways.
Well, I think in this session, like what Shawty just touched on, I actually feel like in this particular situation, Georgia is in a lose-lose. If they beat Florida State, they're gonna be like, well, nobody thought Florida State was good. If they lose to Florida State, they're like, well, Georgia look like you. You know what I'm saying? Like if Florida State loses, everybody expects it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody.
But that ain't gonna happen, guys. We already on paper we're already saying it's Georgia's winning.
Yeah.
Remember, you don't have to play the games anymore.
AP say, I bet if Bama was ranked number 1
they played the best schedule in the world when Travis was there.
We just write it on paper, and that's what we need to start doing is just put the schedules together, and then everybody kind of pick who they think's going to win. And
for the love of God.
And here we go.
Yeah, so AP getting in, say I bet if Bama was ranked number 1, basically in the same situation Georgia was, and then lost the SEC championship. They would still get in. We've seen that happen before. Hey, at the end of the day, we're in the Orange Bowl. At the end of the day, I think we're gonna come out and we'll probably be at least 10 to 12 point favorites in this game, if not more. I think about 10 to 12. You know what I'm saying? But because Jordan Travis is just that good. I mean, we watched him. We all watched it with our own eyes. We watched this dude like single-handedly win games time after time. And when you take that guy away, and me and Shawty talked about this on Saturday. I mean, to be honest with you, if we didn't have Carson Beck, I mean, they probably do us the same way because I think the drop-off is the same as at Florida State when you lose Jordan Travis. So
probably 2-3 lost team for sure.
And another thing that played in Florida State not getting in because of the quarterback situation, honestly, it's Georgia beating TCU 65-7. Kirk Herbstreit was adamant that he didn't want to call another game in the playoffs that was like that. And I know some of the people in that room was talking about that. If we put Florida State in, especially against Michigan, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think Michigan wins that game by 3 scores easily. And they want to see closer. I know that shouldn't be a part of, but they do want to see culture, closer, games. What's going on, Kyle Pope? Appreciate you getting in. You say coach is right. This sets a really bad precedent going for it. Hey, that just means that next year
There
there's
ain't no
telling
president. It's
Listen,
12 teams next year.
Next year
Yeah,
they're saying
exactly.
conference.
What are we even talking about?
Yeah, next year they say that like I say, 5 conference champions get in. But this is my thing: is there are no 5 Power 5s. There's only 4 Power 5s.
Yeah.
So like they got to change. They already got to amend that rule. You know what I'm saying? So because it's 4 Power 5 conference champions, and then I don't know what they're doing with Washington State and Oregon State. They've already agreed with the Mountain West to play 6 games apiece to fill the schedule, and then they're going to fill the other 6 games with OOC games. So I don't know how that's going to work. Yeah,
conference wise, I think maybe me and Jason maybe have talked about this. I mean, I've been on so many shows, but conference wise, it's just really smoke and mirror. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna still get the same percentage of teams from each conference.
Yeah.
So if we go to 12 teams, you're still gonna probably get 20 to 25% of each conference. Meaning the SEC is gonna get probably 4 to 5 teams in. It's the same difference.
I think I think they're gonna get 3 to start with, but you're gonna at least see 3 probably coming from the Big Ten and the SEC.
Yep.
I think together the Big Ten and the SEC
but don't think that Notre Dame's going to get left out of it either. Just because
no. I think this right here,
they're going to be in.
Notre Dame,
any possible way, if they stay within 2 to 3 losses, they're going to get in.
I was about to say 9-3 or better. I pretty much think Notre Dame's in. I mean, 9-3 or better. Absolutely. I don't know how you keep them out. To be honest with you, they could be a wild card team,
especially with
whatever.
The draw, especially with the draw.
It's the brand, the eyeballs. Is Notre Dame is iconic, and it's also about like. You get the Midwest
with their schedule.
So their schedule's the ACC, and so I mean, yeah.
Well, so I think the Big Ten and the SEC together will account for 6 spots. I don't know how those 6 spots will go. I don't know if it'd be 4 for Big Ten, 2 for SEC, 4 for SEC, 2 for Big, or 3 and 3. I think 6 of them spots are going to the Big Ten and the SEC. Oh, yeah. That's just what it is.
Agreed.
So the next game on the slate, man. And I think this is a really good matchup, Missouri and Ohio State. I think Missouri is one of those teams, kind of like Oregon, didn't be the top 25 team, but on the field, we all watched it. We watched them come into Athens, play us tough next week, blow the doors off of Tennessee. We watched them week after week do what they're supposed to do. And then Ohio State lost to Michigan for a 3rd time in a row. Before I go on, Bishop Franks, what's going on, Bishop Franks? Appreciate you getting in, my man.
Bishop Franks
contributing to Jason in the Hall of Fame college football. Say big salute. Bye. Hey, bye, Big 12, SEC. Here we come. Hey, starting the chant already, man. We appreciate you, man, getting in. So let's see. Nathan says, do you see the ACC blowing up after what happened today? I think the ACC eventually, not next year. I think the ACC was on the way once people started moving, and then they had to default and get Stanford and Cal. I think that was a sign that they're gonna blow up in the first place. Like
it turned into the academic academy
conference. Exactly. So let's see. Marvin Harrison probably won't play. Oh no, I don't doubt that. Like I said, if you're not playing in the playoffs, I don't care what team you are. NFL guys are gonna think twice about it. Portal guys, listen, Monday, the portal. I know we've been seeing a lot of reports, but Monday the portal officially opens, and it's gonna be wild and wacky for the next 2 weeks. So most coaches, especially the ones playing in late December, January playoffs, whatever, they give this time this week here. They give the players the week off because they got a lot of in-house stuff to organize. Like they got a roster man. Think about the guys that's in the playoffs, and I think I want to say Harbaugh talked about it a little bit, or maybe Nick Saban. Nick Saban talked about it. He was like, "Man, I'm get the players off." He's like, "But I got to manage my roster. I got to see who's leaving, who's staying, who's going to the draft. Who might hit the portal next time. That kind of thing." So, hey, man, I don't envy the coaches at this time of the year, man. But Jason, what you think about this Missouri-Ohio State matchup?
I think it's a good matchup. I think that offensively, they kind of match up really well. I think even if you take Marvin Harrison out of it, you know, they've got some other good receivers there at Ohio State, and then
right.
Same thing on the other side of the ball. I mean, they've got 2 5-star stud receivers. They've only lost to what? They lost to you guys and to LSU this year, right?
Yep.
So, you know, I mean, Mizzou, as much as, you know, I don't usually think a whole lot of Mizzou, but they've came out there and, you know, they saved Drink's job for sure. And they've got him recruiting pretty good too. So, you know, it looks like he's kind of trying to get it turned around a little bit. I mean, this is a game that you could see Ohio State lose because Ohio State really hadn't played anybody aside from Michigan and Penn State.
Hey, that's true. Nedio says Mizzou got true playmakers on the perimeter.
They did go on the road to get Notre Dame. I'll give them that. I'll give them that one though. But so I think that you know that they're going to expect Ohio State to win, but I could see Missouri coming out here and surprising them a little bit. They're a pretty good team.
Yeah, I think so too. Andrew, what you think about this matchup? I mean, Ohio State again. I would say both teams played 2 really notable teams. You know what I'm saying? Missouri played LSU and Georgia. Ohio State played Penn State and Michigan. You know, so what you thinking of these matchup? Of course, like I say, we're gonna have people sit out. I mean, even if Marvin Harrison sit out, it's not like Ohio State hasn't gotten literally the number 1 wide receiver in the past 3 classes.
Yeah, right, I mean, I think it's a tale of 2, you know, programs. Like obviously Mizzou was kind of on that downturn for a good amount of time, and then you know, this year obviously terrific. Heck, they even played Georgia very close last year. And I think, look at the Mizzou team head by Drinkwitz and their fan base and their team. They're probably elated. They are so happy to play in Jerry Dome in Cotton Bowl. I'm sure they are pumped up. Whereas Ohio State, they might feel like a little pissed off. They might feel like, why are we going to get up for this kind of game because we deserve better, X, Y, Z. They probably still look at their wounds after losing to Michigan for the 3rd straight year. But, I mean, you know, Ohio State has talent. They have the talent advantage. They probably have the coaching advantage. But, I mean, there's that, you know, what if Brady Cook and Luther Burden just have a day and they can win this thing? So I'm going to be rooting for Mizzou like heck because I cannot stand Ohio State. But, you know, and I know they'll be projected as winners, of course. But, hey, good for Mizzou, good for Drinkwitz, and, you know, the talent is now coming to Mizzou, and probably at the good time as the SEC and the Big Ten are expanding, and expect to see them more in these sort of situations in New Year's Six Bowls going forward. And Ohio State was always going to be there, right? So I think this is like Mizzou is going to take that David versus Goliath approach, and I think this is going to be a really fun game. And also, I don't know if these teams have ever played in my lifetime, but
they haven't played. They definitely haven't played since I went to college in Georgia in '95. I'm dating myself. That was my first year, but they definitely haven't played since '95.
So I mean,
not that I remember.
No, I mean, so I think it's just cool. I love when 2 random, very good teams get to play. And in a really cool set. I've been to the Cotton Bowl when Penn State played Memphis. It's a really cool setting, great game day atmosphere, huge stadium. And Mizzou, they can travel. They can travel very well because it's very easy to get from Missouri to Dallas. And Ohio State's going to always travel well. But, you know, if you're a Mizzou fan, you're probably saving up and asking for your Christmas present to be this ticket, whereas Ohio State might just stay home. So go Mizzou, go Tigers. What a great transformation that Eli Drinkwitz and that great program has done over these past years.
Yeah, man. Just want to take a break. Homegrown Cowboy Jason says he can't send a super chat. I don't know if you can help him with that. If not, Homegrown, you can always come to the Fan Addict Sports channel and send a super chat. But I don't know why you wouldn't be able to send a super chat on Jason's
channel. It should be there. It's monetized, and we've got some other ones that you just have to. If you go,
we've had about 4 today. So
yeah, if you go on the chat, there's just a money sign. I don't know why I wouldn't let you, but I mean, you know, hey, if it works on Coach Eyes, that's all right too.
Homegrown. Let us know if you're watching on your phone or the computer, and then maybe that will make a difference in how you get.
Yeah,
to
I've
the
never heard of
button
that not working. That's kind of
on
weird.
Jason's channel. So, Nelio says there's a few guys on the Mizzou defense that are NFL guys on the Mizzou defense. I definitely agree. And listen, on the offense too, and these guys are coming back. So Luther Burton is a true he's a true sophomore. So unless he's hurt, he's playing in this game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if what's my Mims, if he has another year, he probably is playing in this game. I don't know what his whatever his status is as far as eligibility wise, but they got guys. So Cody Schrader's for sure probably
they got a 5-star receiver from Oklahoma last year too.
Yeah, so that's not Mims. Theo Weiss. That's him. Yeah. So if he has more eligibility, he's playing. Cody Schrader. I think Cody Schrader is gonna play, even though I think this is his last year, but he's trying to get to the NFL, man. Shout out to that kid. He was a Division II kid that came in and just took over. Shawty, what you think about these Mizzou Tigers taking on Ohio State?
Hey man, so I'm gonna sound like I'm gonna talk out of both sides of my mouth. I just want y'all to stay with me though. Just stay with me. I promise you I'm gonna make it make sense. I think just stay with me because I'm sound like I'm gonna be contradicting myself. All right. So this particular game right here, Mizzou and Ohio State, I think it's a great matchup. I just think the timing is bad, just because of what we've been saying early in the show about who may be leaving, who may not be playing, yada yada yada. Because make no mistake, Mizzou is having a great year, but they're not a program like Ohio State. So it's a very good chance Ohio State will have more of their top guys out, and it may be slightly favored. I think Jason said in a way towards Mizzou, believe it or not, just because of the time, right?
Oh, wow.
But if this was in the regular season, I would be all over this matchup. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I probably would pull for Mizzou, knowing what I know of Mizzou, if it was in the regular season, especially later in the season. But at the same time, this is what I'm talking about, speaking out the other side of my mouth. This time next year, it won't matter, because guess what? These games will matter because they'll be playoff games. These guys won't be sitting out.
Big facts, man. Big facts. Shout out to Homegrown Cowboy getting in on Jason's channel and giving 20. He said next year we go 12-team playoffs. No one should be complaining if their team isn't top 10. Don't complain. Hey, I know we say that, Homegrown, but listen, teams 13, 14, 15, and 16 are all gonna complain about not getting that 12.
Everybody, the whole lot of them.
I'm with Shawty, man. I wish this game somehow, and if this game happens next year, it will mean a lot. And the players of the likes of Harrison will play. And Ohio State is a more established program than Missouri when it comes to top tier echelon winning. You know what I'm saying, and talent. So they may have more key people out. I don't know how many people are seniors, how many people are, juniors that are eligible for the draft that can go, but I could definitely see that. Coach, what you think about this matchup right here? I mean, again, on surface, it's like a good matchup to me.
Oh, I definitely like this matchup. I'm going to lean towards Mizzou. And you guys know, you've heard me from the get-go of the season. I have not been impressed with Ohio State.
You have been on that all year.
Yep, he sure has.
They guys that, they beat a not real good Notre Dame team barely. And I just, Michigan thrashed the shit out of them. I just don't think they're as good as, I think we go back to what was said a second ago. They've got a program, and somebody even said earlier too about Ohio State, they may have the advantage at the coaching. I think that could be just the opposite. I think they could be at a disadvantage because I'm not very impressed with their coach. So I'm going to go with the Tigers, baby.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. I can see that too. All right, man. Next game up on the slate is the Peach Bowl, man. Ole Miss and Penn State. Listen, this is where I'm going to start off with this. Two coaches who get a lot of love as far as being able to coach. but also 2 coaches that haven't won many big games. So they hey, listen. They listen. I think Lane Kiffin is definitely a great play caller. I think he's done a lot with less, but at the end of the day, still got to beat the big boys. His 2 losses came, unfortunately, to Bama and Georgia. And then on the same side, James Franklin. Listen, man, he didn't take over. It wasn't like they were in a good spot when he took over Penn State, was about 8-10 years ago or whatever. He's brought him a long way, but he still can't beat the behemoths of the Big Ten, the Michigan, and Ohio State. So with that said, I think on that note, this is a good matchup. Andrew, I'll say so Andrew's the Penn State guy, so we'll save him for last. Coach, what you think about this matchup?
Oh, I tell you what, I think it's a good matchup. I think, like you said, Ole Miss lost to 2 great programs, and Penn State just doesn't seem to be able to win the big ball games at all. So I'm gonna go with Ole Miss.
Okay. Hey, I definitely can see that. Sacred Grove gets in, say go Dogs beat FSU. That's right. That's what the mindset needs to be. Ain't nothing we can do to change none of that. Hey, listen, man. Listen. Appreciate you, Jason. Hey, man, we appreciate you for subbing to the channel. And he's right, man. Listen, whether you're watching on Hall of Fame College Football, you're watching on Just My Damn Opinion, or you're watching on the Fan Addict, make sure you hit the like button. That helps the algorithm get it out to more people. So hit the like button, man. We're trying to give y'all some good content. Jason, give me your thoughts on this New Year's 6 right here.
Hey, I like this game. I like this game a lot too. And I'm kind of what Coach said and what you were kind of talking about is that the kind of both of them need to get some wins. This is the kind of game that they could both use. I think obviously Franklin getting the win last year, and the Utah game doesn't look as great whenever you had, a quarterback go down like that. You know what I mean? Because they weren't looking great before that. So to me, I feel like it's one of those deals where you get over there and you get an opportunity to beat Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin, that's a big win for these guys, man. They love beating Lane. But Lane, that's a big win for him too. If he can go in there and kind of win this game in the Peach Bowl, it'll be kind. That's obviously there in Atlanta too, right?
Yep. Yep. Right there in the bench.
I mean, hey, that's SEC country, so you got to kind of defend the home turf, right?
Hey, big facts.
That's Lane's job. That's Lane's job. Go get that done.
That's right.
I think that this would be a big win for him, and he's had a great season this year. I mean, obviously they lost to the 2 best teams they played in Georgia and Bama, but he did beat LSU. I'll give him that one this year.
Yep. Hey. Listen, Sacred Grove, I like this comment. It might be his candidate for comment of the day. He says, Ole Miss versus Penn State equals that we just lost to the 2 best teams in our conference bowl.
That's a fair statement.
It's a true statement. So, hey, Shawty, what you got on this Peach Bowl, man, happening in the ATL on December the 30th, man?
Yeah, man. I hate to go behind on Jason on this one because I agree, pretty much with everything that he said. The only thing that I would add to that is I would just put it in terms of I think this win, who I'm picking, which is Ole Miss, I think the win is bigger for Ole Miss just because of what you guys have said. Their only 2 losses would be to 2 of the best teams in the nation. So I think that helps catapult his program for next year. But for Penn State, no disrespect. We got my man on this. No disrespect. I'm just a straight shooter. It's just par for the course for him. You know what I mean? Winning 9 games, losing 3 games. So I don't think he's brought the program a long way. He just brought them where they should be anyway. Franklin has to elevate his game. So him losing this game or winning it would just be par for the course. So to win this game, Ole Miss, it'll be a much bigger step in their program with the season they have already had.
Bet. All right, man. And the final thoughts on this Peach Bowl is coming from Andrew, the Penn State alum. What's going on, Andrew? How you feeling about this matchup?
Well, I'm going because I just have to take the MARTA about four rides down there. I got some close friends coming in for the game. One of my best friends is an Ole Miss alum, so I'm just so happy because Penn State's going to be in Atlanta. I mean, that's just wonderful. The Benz is cool. And I think it's just a great matchup. I mean, I think it's going to be, again, it's kind of like that Washington, Texas thing of, I think it's just going to be a good football game. I don't know who's going to win this. Could Penn State win? Absolutely, because as you had said, James Franklin, par for the course, 10-2, go to the New Year's Six, win. He's won a Fiesta Bowl. He's won a Rose Bowl. He's won a Cotton Bowl. So maybe if he wins, so if he, and I've been to all of them. So we beat Utah in the Rose Bowl. We beat Memphis in the Cotton Bowl. We beat Washington in the Fiesta Bowl, and now it's Peach Bowl. Perfect. 10-2, win the Peach Bowl, get another thing of hardware, and show how you're going to definitely change absolutely everything you've been doing for the past decade. No.
Big fact. Big fact.
No.
Hey, man.
Listen, I want them to win. They'll probably win. I don't give a shit. I just want to beat Ohio State or Michigan once. I
was about to say that. I was about to say, I think Penn State fans are to the point where they're like, we're good. I mean, the BCS is good, the New Year's Six, whatever you want to call them. But at the end of the day, we got to beat Ohio State and Michigan. I think even with the new teams coming in, whichever one ends up, not the new teams, but whichever one between Michigan and Ohio State ends up on Penn State's schedule next year, they're like, you got to beat them. Who cares about the rest of the guys? Because we haven't
like that sandwich against stale, coach.
Hey, sounds like it, man. And like Andrew said, he's been there for all those wins. But at the end of the day, he's also been there.
Offense though, and the guy that they got coming in from Kansas. Wait, this dude.
Listen, this is the thing about that,
cat, man. He's a different cat.
But this is the thing about what I told you with Garrett Riley and Clemson. It could be a good guy coming in. Two things you got to have: the players that make it work, and the head coach to let you do the work. And if you don't have those two things, I don't care how good you are. And
I guess that would be my question for Andrew.
I don't know if Penn State
let him do his thing, or do they got their own offense that they got to do like Clemson?
Yeah, so hold up. So we can talk about that, but we got a lot more bowl games to talk about before we talk about how to do OC. Yeah. So
glad you're here to keep us in line, Coach.
Hey, listen, man, we got some people.
He's like the bumpers in bowling. He's like, okay, I'm not gonna let you get a gutter ball. But
hey, and listen, we got a lot of stuff to talk about in the off season. There's a lot of coaches moving, there's a lot of players that's going to be moving, and we want to make sure, and Andrew's going to be getting into this podcast space as well. We need to make sure that we keep a lot of this going, because there's a lot of good content that's going to be had, and there's some people, some people that are watching that we appreciate that are kind of impatient on the bowl games. The next bowl game up is it should have been the Oklahoma Bowl, Fiesta Bowl versus Liberty. Listen, on the Fanatic top 25. Shout out to Coach I. Shout out to Coach I for always having Liberty in the top 10. For being undefeated, not too
shout out to Coach I and his
not Fresno State. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna let Coach Robo start with this, man. Liberty undefeated G5 versus Oregon. First, I want two things from you, Coach. I want should Oklahoma be here instead of Oregon, and then what you think about the game itself.
I don't know. I think it's I think either one could have been in there. I'm not gonna really go one way or the other on that. Liberty, golly, you hit the nail on the head. You've been with them and keeping them in there and in the mix of things. And, that's kind of what we talked about earlier today is, win the ball games. That's why you play them, win them. And here we go. And here they are. I don't think they can beat Oregon. I don't think they could have beat Oklahoma if Oklahoma would have been there. So I'm going with Oregon.
Bet it up. Shawty, you have been against Liberty being in the top 25. And what do you think about now? Before you answer, we knew the top G5 was going to be in the New Year's Six. That's just what we knew, right? What you think about this matchup?
Listen, I hate to go behind Coach, because Coach is my guy. You know what I mean? But that shit is terrible, man. Come on. Give me Oklahoma, man. That shit's terrible, man.
So
they're gonna beat the dog, where, out of Liberty, man.
You think it should have been Oklahoma, Oregon?
For sure. That's a much better matchup, for sure.
Think about money.
I could go with that one, Shawty. I thought we were talking about OU and Oregon.
Yeah.
Well, he was because this is that spot that
That's
group of
guaranteed to
five,
be
highest
five.
ranked
Yeah.
group
Right.
of five gets one of these games. So
Right.
And
So,
that's
in
basically-
other
that's
words, just
basically-
because of the rules,
Yeah.
Right.
Oklahoma got pushed out because
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
rules,
that's
not
basically what
necessarily who
Shawty-
the
it
better
would have pushed
team.
them out of the playoff. If it was a 12-team playoff this year, it would have pushed them out too. So again, one of those things
Right.
where, as much as they love on Texas for beating Alabama, they don't give a shit about Oklahoma beating Texas. Nothing.
Yeah. So, well, after that, Jason, give us now that we know, again, I agree. I think Oklahoma should have been this game one way or another. But what do you think about the matchup itself?
Yeah, I think Oregon wins. I mean, I saw Liberty playing New Mexico State last night or the other night. It was a great game.
So let me ask you this: all of y'all that say Oregon gonna win, and I don't disagree. If Bo Nix, who is up for the Heisman, I don't think he's gonna win now that he lost to Washington. What if he decides he's going to the NFL, which he is? He ain't playing no more. What if he don't play in this game and Liberty win? Are y'all gonna discount Liberty winning because Bo Nix didn't play?
No.
Oh no!
Listen,
if it should be such a blowout,
I didn't say it should be a blowout, but I think
I'm talking to Shawty. Shawty say they're gonna beat the dog walking you know what out of them. That means they should be able to do that with their second string quarterback.
Well, to your question, Cole, you just said ask whether we would discredit it. And to answer that, sure we would. You should if you don't.
No,
I'm not saying that.
No,
you should.
You said it. No, because if they're good enough to beat them, the dog walking piss out of them, they should be good enough to beat them with a backup quarterback.
And Cole, I'm not saying that they won't beat them. I'm just answering your question. You said, Cole, what I'm saying that if
I'm still disagreeing with that, you can't discredit it.
Fair enough.
If they're that much better than Liberty, they should be able to beat them.
I'm saying, but that's why people are gonna discredit it. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm asking you. Are you going? Don't talk about people. Talk about what your damn opinion.
Okay, so I just give you just in my damn opinion, they're not going to be Oregon. Period. I don't care who that quarterback.
No, they're not.
That ain't the question. If they beat them, are you going to discredit them? That's the question. Yes or no.
Only reason I can't answer that, Cole, I don't think no form they're gonna beat them. I don't care the third quarterback. So to answer your question, no, because I don't think they're gonna beat them regardless. But if they do beat them, I give Liberty their credit.
That's all I want to know, Jason. If
they get credit from me, they get credit from me. I don't think that they're gonna beat them, and I don't think that it matters.
I don't either. I'm just saying.
I don't think it matters if Bo Nix is there either.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think they can put me and you in the backfield, and we're gonna beat.
That's what I'm saying. I think Jackson Arnold can play. Maybe not Davis Bevel, but if Jackson Arnold played for Oklahoma, they'd beat them too, or they better damn sure beat them.
That's all I'm saying. I don't think they're going to beat them regardless because I think Oregon's that much better than them.
Sure, they better. Yeah, absolutely.
If we're saying they're that much better, then the game shouldn't be discredited if they win. If Bo Nix doesn't play.
I think questions start getting asked about Dan Lanning if he don't win this damn game.
Listen, we talked a little bit about Dan Lanning last night, and I'm gonna say this: if Dan Lanning don't beat Liberty, I don't, like Shawty said, I don't care if I'm lining up at running back. We got some questions to answer.
I know he has some anyway, but he'll have a lot more.
Is my guy still on the show? Because I called him the James Franklin of the Pac-12.
Yeah, Andrew. Yeah, Andrew's here.
I'm just keeping it 100. It don't make no sense for me to lie. I mean, I'm a straight shooter. It's all, we just talking.
This is how he rolls. This is how Shawty rolls.
Did I not call him James Franklin of the Pac-12?
I don't think I don't think that's a bad comparison until he beats. I know it's early in his career, but until he beats somebody of note, like Andrew said with James Franklin, he don't care nothing about these New Year's Six wins. He cares about beating the right teams, and so far, Dan Lanning hasn't beat the right teams. He's getting a lot of credit for losing to the right teams. That's what it is.
Man, that's the James Franklin contract. I think it's in his contract. Must lose these two teams, but close, and then beat everybody else and win a big game every once in a while in a bowl where everyone is home getting Christmas turkey. It doesn't matter.
But you see it. Listen, you see it on all levels, right, Coach? Even in high school, you have a coach, they say ain't no good, and then in the playoffs, maybe the first round he upset somebody, and then the second round he gets blasted. Be like, but you know what? He did knock off the first team, though. You know what I'm saying? And then now he's got 2 more years or something like that. We see that a lot in college football, man. You win that right game again. It goes back to the point we all talked about the money and like Andrew was saying, the television aspect of it.
Yeah.
You beat the right team at the right time. And I think the only reason why we think of Oregon, or he's not gonna be in those conversations about losing the wrong games, is because he went to Utah and beat the hell out of Utah.
Oregon
But we all know what Utah was.
Before he got there either. Mario would win he'd go on the road and win at Ohio State and get his ass kicked when he got back to play Arizona.
Yeah. Speaking of Arizona, next
Coach I.
Go ahead, Coach.
Hey, Coach I was just going to say, but you know what? It really doesn't matter, or does it really matter if Bo Nix plays or not? Because, Florida State would say that it doesn't,
Hey, that's what I was about to say. Florida State would say it don't matter if you win the games or whatever. It don't matter who playing.
Good point.
So you're right. Florida State's argument is gonna hurt Dan Lanning if he can't beat Liberty. You know what I'm saying? Again, we're all thinking that he's still gonna beat Liberty. So if you're watching the show, we all think Oregon was gonna beat Liberty regardless of who's suiting up for them. That's just where the two programs are. I mean, I don't care if all of the guys that's going to the NFL sit out for Oregon.
It's the day after my birthday for this one.
So hey, we got Oklahoma and Arizona in the Alamo Bowl. Listen, Oklahoma started out red hot, beat Texas, who the committee didn't give them credit for, but and then kind of faltered a little bit. But listen, still been one of the top 15 teams in the nation. Arizona came on hot after a slow start to the season, beating a lot of teams in the Pac-12, and actually going into the last week had a shot. Had certain teams not handled their business to get to the Pac-12 championship. So I actually think on the surface, again, we know people are going to be sitting out, but on the surface, I think this is a really good matchup. Coach, what you think about this matchup?
Oh, I think it's a great matchup. Just like you said, both of them have been pretty salty throughout the season, and I think it's just a great matchup. You obviously who I'm going to pick. I don't even need to say it, but it's good. I think it's going to be a great ball game.
Well, shit, you got to say it.
Yeah, Arizona.
I already know.
But I think it's going to be a great ball game. I really do.
Yeah, and I don't think this is one of those games where the loser has to hang his head, whoever you're picking to win or lose this game. I think both of these teams, I think this is a really good match game. And I think both of these teams should come in with kind of that we want to prove something to the world mentality. Arizona, again, they was down the stretch, they was beating everybody. You know what I'm saying? And if they didn't beat them, they was keeping it close with the top echelon of the Pac-12. Oklahoma beat Texas. That's a really good Texas team. They finished 10-2. So I think they coming into the game with something to prove. Both teams, I feel like, got something to prove. Andrew, what you think about this matchup between OU and Arizona in the Alamo Bowl, December the 28th?
I believe that Oklahoma should be in the previous talked about bowl, but hey, what a fun matchup again. I mean, Arizona is so good. Jed Fish, what a job he has done. They have a really great, fun team with Fafita coming out of nowhere as their quarterback. And, I think it's going to be a high-scoring, fun game. Now it's going to be in San Antonio on December 28th. So maybe not as premier and marquee, but I agree with you. Whoever wins or loses this game, hold your head up, because I think Arizona is going to be a problem moving forward in the Big 12. And OU, I mean, this is their kind of farewell to the Big 12, and they're going to go to the SEC. So maybe that's a good way to end their season after a down season last year. I mean, you could probably tell me that either one of these teams are going to win, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be high octane. I mean, let's go. I'm pumped for this game.
Yeah, I think you touched on something good, man. Arizona saying goodbye to the Pac-12, going to the Big 12. OU saying goodbye to the Big 12, going to the SEC. This could be the send-off that each of them need to get a jump start. We all know how bowl games play in that momentum thing in the offseason. So, Shawty, what you thinking for this OU versus Arizona matchup?
Yeah, man, it much shit I don't talk earlier about the committee, man. With that being said, shout out to these matchups. All these matchups are a damn good matchup, though, regardless of, what we thought or where they should be. These particularly New Year's 6 days matchups are all awesome matchups. I like the Arizona OU game. Oh, that's really tough for me. What I will say is I think it's going to be about the coaching and the personnel. Because if DG started and DG played most of the game, I like Oklahoma. But if he go with that kind of splitting snaps because he's trying to get Jackson some snaps, get him ready and all that kind of stuff, I think Arizona got a better shot. So
I like it, man.
I don't know. That's a great matchup, man. I like that.
Yeah,
I do too, man. Sacred Grove getting in with another good bowl name. He said this he's got OU in the send-off bowl. That's right. This
Yeah.
So Jason, how you feeling, man? I know again we know you feeling OU got the snub on that Fiesta Bowl, but now that you got Arizona, man, there's
one thing that the Oklahoma should have a big ass chip on their shoulder. Period.
Yep.
And this should be the start. Now, I'll tell you, Arizona, like, hey, Jed Fish has proven that he's a hell of a coach, and he's turned that thing around big time there. This is definitely not a walkover type of game. I don't care who you got in, even if Dylan's there or if he's not there, because I don't know that he's gonna be. Whether he is or he isn't, I don't know that. I don't think that it would matter. I think that either way, you got to come out and play your best football. You got a new offensive coordinator calling plays. I'm guessing that they're going to stay with mostly all the same stuff, but you might see some new little wrinkles there. That's probably a good thing. But at the end, I mean, to me, if you're Oklahoma and you fancy yourself as one of the better teams in the country, you need to win this game. Period.
Mm-hmm. Big facts.
And that's just where it is. You know what I mean? And so there's no excuses for it and anything like that. And there should be no reason for them to not come in here fully steamed up and ready to play it either.
I think both schools are that way. I think that's a good point. I think
it's fair with Arizona too. They've been, I mean, look, Arizona hasn't, when's the last time they were worth a damn? And he turned it around from 1-11 or 2-11 and 2-10 in his first season, something like that. They didn't win a game before he got there.
So probably 4 years ago with Khalil Tate, probably the last time.
But I don't even think Khalil Tate more than 8 games in the season, did he?
I mean, yeah, they weren't. They just weren't that good, man.
No, but
he was good.
That was fun watching.
Yeah, he was good. He was good.
But I mean, it's just I think that this is a tough game no matter what. But I think that this is the game that if you're Oklahoma, you need to go win it. There's no excuse not to. None.
Yeah, and I think this is one of those bowl games where you could I think. Like you say, they got a chip on their shoulder. Arizona got something to prove. You got some, coaches that's been in the business, but head coaching in not a lot of experience. Jeff Lebby's off to Mississippi State.
There's no love lost for the Big 12 right now, and the Arizona's coming into the Big 12, and they're going to be the new, big brothers for Okie Light and all those guys. So
also one of the closest matchups, though.
That's what I was going. That's what I was going with that. Yeah, I think that's a good point, Shawty. This is one of the closest matchups. Honestly, I think this matchup is a little bit closer than one of the playoff matchups. To be honest with you,
I agree.
This is actually a really good matchup. I hope both teams do like what you say, Jason. I hope they come into the game something to prove, whatever you want to call it, and play their best, because I think this is going to be one of the better games of the bowl season right here.
Yeah, you could end up with 2 freshman quarterbacks because their quarterback's a freshman. He's a bad dude too, man. That dude played really, really well.
Now I would prefer to see that.
They did lose to SUC and they did lose to Mississippi State. So let's not act like they're Georgia. But they're a good team. They played really well.
Jason, I would rather see the 2 freshman quarterbacks duel.
I was gonna say this, man. If DG is there's been word that he's gonna go with Levy to Mississippi State, or he might go to NFL. Whatever he's gonna do, if he's not gonna be at OU next year, I'm like Shawty. I would prefer to see Jackson Arnold versus their young guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, show us. Like I said, listen, man. For fans, if you didn't make the playoffs, don't look at it as like, oh, well, we ain't got a lot of people playing that matter and that it don't count. Like, this is what your team is. This is at least what your team gonna look like at the start of the season or close to it, because outside of the recruits that you're bringing in, they get to practice. They don't get to play, the ones that enroll early. But 80% of the guys suiting up in your bowl game gonna be suiting up game 1 next year. So if you don't like how they look on bowl day, listen, that's just what it is.
And Coach I, and that's what a lot of people tend to forget at this time of the year in the bowl games. I know we had
important, right?
We absolutely. We had one of our fans from Notre Dame moaning and complaining about we shouldn't even play in a bowl game. And you know, God, why make a stupid statement like that? Because all these teams in the bowl games, they're getting extra practices in.
Yep.
And like you said, they're getting to look at those exactly and 2 weeks of it. And they're getting to look at their kids that are going to be, you know, making a difference possibly for them next season. And so they're all the bowl teams are ahead of the game already.
Big facts, man. And I want to speak to the money issue like we talked about. Listen, I know some fans are like that Notre Dame fan you talk about, like, oh, I don't want to play in the bowl game. I like this attitude by 405 boy. My 405 boy say, even though I hate missing CFP, this is a great matchup. It is. Yeah. And when you talk about the money aspect, Shawty can speak to this. Not every player is getting NIL, people. So this bowl game, they get some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I know it's like a, you know, per mile or whatever. They get some stuff that they ain't got all year. Like it's some walk-ons and some number 80, some number 80, 81, 80.
The farther you stay away, the more money you get.
You know what I'm saying? So listen, and it's another game. Like there's some seniors that's never gonna play football again. They're not gonna go to the NFL. This is just another chance. And if you never played sports, when you're talking about hanging it up, that's a hard thing to do, regardless of the reason or why you had to hang it up. If you had to hang it up and you knew you could have played more, like, man, these dudes love this. Like, they like, man, this is my last chance. Let me go out here. And then there's some people that's on the cusp. Maybe they NFL undrafted free agent. Maybe they not. I'm going to go out here and show them in the bowl game why I should be a 5th, 6th, 7th round guy.
You're putting it on tape. Is what you are. That or Senior Bowl or what have you. You get very limited chances as to show why you should be the 3rd string left guard for the New York Giants. Like, damn it, every snap means something. Like, I've met multiple people and I've had friends that are in the league from Penn State, and they said, I don't care if you're playing the Tax Slayer Bowl. I don't care if you're in the Toilet Bowl. I got reps. Tape.
That's what we're playing in the toilet bowl.
You're playing in the toilet bowl? Well, hey, I hope you flush.
Hey, and to Coach R point, you know, Coach R, he made a good point. You know, he can probably tell you more of this from a coach because I've never been a coach, but I've heard my coach say it out of his mouth. I'm gonna be honest with you, know, the money and all that is cool. It's great. Trust me. That's what we're here for. But coaches wouldn't care if they were getting paid or not. They want the extra 2 weeks of practice.
Oh, you bet.
That's an extra 80 hours that they get to put their eyes on their kids and see what they got. Because after that bowl game, now they're restricted in with the amount of time that they can spend and have these kids practice. So coaches love the extra time to practice and install.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? Now with the portal guys, what an extra incentive for players too, because they're going to be able to see.
There's another portal,
I need to jump into the portal and get out of here because I'm not looking like I'm going to be able to play here. I mean, so it'll help them too.
Yeah, it will. And to that point, there are some kids that maybe want to stay and think they're going to be in the 2 deep next year. And then you say, okay, I'm going to play in the bowl game. And then you see you not in the 2 deep. And then you go to spring workouts and you're not in the 2 deep. Now in April, when that second window open, you're like, well, I guess I need to get in the portal. You know what I'm saying? It's time to get up out of here. So, and just think about it, man, for the teams that don't get to go, like Shawty said, for the teams that get to go to these bowl games, they practicing getting looks at younger people that didn't have reps, people that had little reps, getting more reps. But the people that's on your schedule that didn't go to a bowl game, it's a reason why. Hey man, not no shots at Vandy. It's the reason why Vandy, you know, they don't get these extra practices. Vandy never gets these extra practices. You know what I'm saying?
A bowl game is equivalent to almost signing early, which a lot of kids can't do.
Yeah. It's, big facts. You know what I'm saying? That's a good comparison. All right. So
real quick.
Back. Hey, D Senior said Texas is back. Y'all got a chance to prove it. What's up, Jason?
Billy Lucci is reporting that E-Rob is headed to Syracuse. Elijah Robinson, defensive line coach at Texas A&M, gone.
A great player.
That is going to break.
That's our guy posting then, right?
Texas A&M. That may break that portal down.
Oh yeah, that's Fran Brown.
He posted.
The defensive back coach, former defensive back coach at Georgia, who just got the job. He just poached him from Texas A&M. If you don't know who he is, he's one of their top recruiter Here's their top recruiter for all of those 5 stars you saw Texas A&M get under Jimbo. Let's move on to another game. I think we talked earlier about the Texas.
Let's get out of there.
Hey man, things are falling apart, and maybe him and Mike Elko don't have a great. I ain't gonna say great relationship, like they don't like each other, but maybe they don't.
Man, so many 5-stars on that defensive line.
He's gonna probably get an extra title up under his name.
Who would you not like about this guy for Mike Elko, and you were the DC before?
Hey, I don't know though. I don't know.
That's crazy.
We don't know what's going on behind closed doors. So the Texas Bowl, I don't have a.
There is a lot of crazy shit that goes on at Texas A&M.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
You hired Bobby Petrino. What do you expect? So,
maybe he just wants out. I don't know. But the Texas Bowl, I think y'all told me is Oklahoma State and who was that team y'all said Oklahoma State was supposed to be playing in the Texas Bowl?
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. Oh, that's why that popped into my brain. Okay, I got you. Listen, I think that's a good matchup.
Little Brother Bowl. The Little Brother Bowl.
That's the good one, Jason. That is the Little Brother Bowl. Like you got Texas A&M versus Oklahoma State. Now, Ollie Gordon is what year is he? Is he gonna play in this game, we think? Is he a senior or
well, he's a sophomore, bro. So
he's playing.
He's playing, yeah.
He should be able to
get up, ain't he?
Yeah, but he got about 2.5, 3 weeks though, right?
Playing this game, man.
Good point.
Yeah. So Sacred Grove, he laughing. Yeah, he beat you to the punch, Sacred Grove. Little brother bowl. Coach, what you think about that bowl as far as who could win? And listen, if Jimbo was coaching in this bowl, it would be another one of those coaches got to prove it bowl because I mean Gundy, he's kind of just the same guy every year, and Texas A&M hasn't done anything. But no, Elko's in the building now, so I think Elko. What we've seen the last 2 years, I would say Elko's the better coach, but we don't know overall. So what you think, Coach?
And I'm telling you, I think you hit the nail on the head. I like Elko. Obviously, we all know I'm not a Gundy fan. Even after he got off the tractor and came back to work, he was working out at his ranch or riding a bull or whatever the hell he was doing at the ranch. But
he wasn't cutting his hair.
I didn't know he wasn't. I think Elko's a hell of a coach, and I'm going to go with A&M.
Okay. Hey, shout out to David Talks Buff, man. Covers Colorado all day, every day. Colorado alum, man, gets in on Jason's channel and says, gets the $4.99 and say, sorry about the dogs, Coach. I was rooting for 4 best teams got in. He's a happy man. All these teams are evenly matched. Dogs over FSU by 50. I appreciate that, David. Hey, I got to link up with you anyway, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about Colorado. If y'all listen, man, if y'all want all the Colorado content, whether you like Prime, don't like Prime, David's bringing it to you. Get over to David.
He is a man.
Buffs, man. They listen, they talk it all, man. So listen, that's another one. Colorado's offseason is gonna be crucial. They need help and help bad. They need coaches, they need players on the O line and some on the defense. They need a lot of stuff. So let's get some of these balls. Does anybody know what bowl game Clemson is playing in by chance? I haven't seen that. Let me see. Please update. Clemson accepts 50th bowl invitation to
Kentucky.
Slayer Gator Bowl.
I was just going to say the Gator Bowl.
The Gator Bowl, and they play in Kentucky. Listen, if Clemson can't do nothing, they know they can find them a matchup versus the SEC in the postseason. So, listen, I don't think this is a bad matchup, man. I don't know who's going to be playing quarterback for Kentucky. I think it should be what's his name? David Leary. Leary. What's his name? Well, I don't know. Devin Leary. Devin Leary. I think he's one of these guys that we kind of mentioned earlier who needs that extra game because he did a lot in the ACC, but when he came to Kentucky, he hasn't really done a lot. So if I'm Devin, I'm trying to play in this game, man, and this is a good chance for Cade to get on track at Clemson. And who knows? They're gonna have again. Both of these teams are gonna have portal and NFL entries, so we know that. What you think about this one, Shawty? Clemson versus Kentucky in the Gator Bowl.
Well, I just think it's a good, matchup in terms of, crossing conferences. but this is obviously lets everyone know that there are levels to this game, and that's why the game is so serious, and that's why there's so much money involved because we're literally talking about, you know, Clemson and Kentucky being on the same level. It's not a very good look for Clemson. So Clemson
Mm.
is very important for them to win this game. You have to be able to have something to build off going into next season. It's going to be very important for recruiting, you know, and Dabo trying to
Yeah.
stabilize this program. So, you know, it kind of sucks for Clemson. I hate to see it. You know, their run may be over with, but also if it sucks for Clemson, that means it's an opportunity for Kentucky. So hopefully Kentucky, being an SEC companion, can take advantage of this opportunity and, you know, win the game. And that's what I'm pulling for.
Hey, and stat guy, our the resident South Carolina fan, he would be none the happier if Kentucky could get the win. If I'm picking who I think will
You
win,
sure would.
I think I'm gonna pick Clemson because I don't know who's playing quarterback. Even if DevilDog plays, and I think Clemson's defense, they're gonna be missing some people, just like Kentucky's gonna be missing some people. Hey, not for nothing, Tennessee played Clemson. Like I said, they always play an SEC team in the postseason, whether it's the playoffs or regular bowl games. They played Tennessee, and Tennessee got the win. But like you said, I think this means more for Kentucky. You know, because if Kentucky can get this win, I think, you know, that helps them because Clemson, again, one of those programs over the past 8 to 10 years have been mentioned or in the playoffs. So a little bit of downer. Let Fatty 71 gets in and says, when I didn't know the bowl game, said they was playing in the potato chip bowl. Listen, I know
you
some
got
people
them in the same breath. That's tough.
Hey, that shows you need to get it done on the field. Andrew, how you feeling about this Gator Bowl matchup, man?
I think it's more important for Clemson, to be honest. I mean, you know, after what they've been going through, and you know that Dabo's going to be on his soapbox talking all sorts of random ass nonsense, and most people don't even know who Mark Stoops is, well alone that he has the most secure job in America. I mean, Kentucky football doesn't need anything more than 6 or 7 wins a year, which he has done. He gets $1 million raise.
Don't get Shawty started.
He gets $1 million every time they win a 8-game season, which includes the bowl. So money wise for his pocket, he wants to win, and I think Kentucky can win. Devin Leary was the big name quarterback transfer that has done basically nothing all year. And Clemson is this brand that we are normally used to talking about with Alabama and Georgia, and they're in the playoffs and all this, and they have had back-to-back down years. I mean, that's just a fact. So it's about getting up for the game. You know, is Clemson going to do that? Or they're going to put people in the portal, or they're going to be changing coaches? Because, you know, Kentucky's not going to change anything. And this is probably what, Devin Leary's last football game? Maybe that means something. So I think Kentucky's going to win this. And then you get to hear unhinged Dabo for 5 months.
Listen, I think you had a good point though about this
being important game for him, right?
For Clemson, because there's some, not a lot, but there is in the small portion of the Clemson nation that is not happy with Dabo, and this wouldn't go over well if he lost this game. So Jason,
if you're a blue blood and you're listening to Dabo tell you that everything's fine and we're going to keep doing it my way, and then you lose to Kentucky in the bowl game, did you're playing Kentucky in the bowl game isn't a good thing.
Unless Kentucky's having a great year.
You said it ain't a good look.
If they ain't 10 wins, bro, come on. This is not a good game for Clemson. And if you go lose that damn game, and you've been, you know, digging your feet in and you know, holding your breath about the portal and NIL and doing things, you know, getting up with the times in college football, and then you go get your ass kicked by freaking Kentucky. 7-5 Kentucky. Not good.
Not good.
Hey, good points, Coach. What you think? Quick on this. Who does it mean more, Clemson or Kentucky?
Oh, geez, this one can go so many different ways. I mean, it really can. I honestly, guys, I don't have a clue who's going to win this one. I'm going to go with Clemson, though.
Okay, I got you.
Who you thought it was more important to win though? For was
Yeah, because I mean, I know we don't listen. Again, these ain't just bowl games. I'm telling you, man. Some of this can
Dabo
still
needs to win this game.
For sure.
Dabo needs to win the game. It would be nice if
He
Mark
must
Stoops
win the game.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
he should. Yeah, I think he better.
Oh,
Yeah.
listen,
better. That's a better.
listen.
It gets a
Just
little louder. It gets a little louder around
just
Clemson
Yeah.
than just
listen.
that
I
one
was about to
Kansas
say,
line, right?
being here in the upstate of South Carolina, I'm telling you, if Dabo don't beat Kentucky, I don't care who's suiting up. The callers on the radio are gonna be louder and louder. That's what I will tell you, because they already like that. So we'll see. Especially, and I think either Shawty or Andrew said it with Dabo out here talking about everything's good, everything's fine.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
if that's the case, then let's beat Kentucky and move on and get better for
He'll
next
be
season.
defending himself again like he was earlier in the season.
Hey,
What
big
was that
facts.
guy's
Listen,
name? What was that guy's name on the call?
Tyler from Spartanburg. Oh, listen,
Tyler
you,
Spartanburg.
hey, if Clemson loses to Kentucky, you can best believe Tyler might get another call in to
He'll be
the
back
show.
online.
He could get a call.
Absolutely.
Next game, man. Louisville Cardinals fall to Florida State, and then got a cramp in the leg. Fall to Florida State in the ACC championship, and now they're taking on Lincoln Riley and the Trojans in the Holiday Bowl. Listen,
What a weird
I know.
game.
What?
Listen, hold on. The Trojans played Tulane last year. Wasn't it the Holiday Bowl or was it the Vegas Bowl?
It was
Cotton Bowl.
It was in the Cotton Bowl.
Cotton Bowl.
Cotton
It was
Bowl.
in the Cotton Bowl, and they lost.
Okay,
that
so
New Year's Six Bowl. Coach Roybal was there.
That was actually
He
probably
there.
one of the best bowls.
listen,
Yeah.
so there's I don't think he's gonna do it, but after they kind of got to the 3-4 loss, column, there was some talks about Caleb not wanting to go to whatever team was number one or whatever, and possibly coming back.
If dumbest shit I've ever heard of.
He's not gonna. Oh, he's gonna turn down $40 million of guaranteed money from that.
Listen, man, I think that was all the play, to be honest with you. But
Sure.
I think this game we see what's the guy's name? Is it Malachi? Is that
Malachi Nelson?
But
Malachi he was actually apparently in Manhattan yesterday to take a look at their soon-to-be transfer quarterback Will Howard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This would be an interesting matchup right here. I think both of these, like Jeff Brom it was his first year at Louisville, and shout out to Jeff Brom and the job that he did.
He's a better coach than Lincoln. Oh
my God, he wakes up better.
Shawty, what you think about the Cardinals versus the Trojans, man?
Man, how far the saying with how far the mighty have fallen.
Do I get another lap? Do I get another victory lap here for this?
Shout out to Jason.
Hey,
you predicted it all. See,
we'll give you props. Me and Shawty didn't believe you when you said they was gonna.
They even did me one better with 7-5, bro. I called 8-4. They did me one better with 7-5.
Big facts. Big facts.
We're starting to get to the point where these matchups is getting to the point like where really a lot of the things that we have said earlier truly matter. Like, is a Caleb Williams going to play? Things like of that type of nature, right? You know what I'm saying? So the more you get into these games, the more the players typically start to matter because you don't have enough depth amongst all the rosters. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know which way to go. On paper, I think the matchup looks good, especially the way USC give up points on defense, and Louisville has the ability to score. But just going out on a limb, I think the program that's in a better place at this particular moment is Louisville. I just think they're structured better. They have a better, space and place in college football right now, because USC is kind of all over the place. So I'm gonna go with Louisville just based off their stability of their program.
I like that. I like that a lot. Fatty 71. The portal does officially open tomorrow. That is correct, and it's open for 2 weeks. So all of next week and the week after, and then at the 19th, if that's a Wednesday. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see what date that is. The 20th. The 20th is early signing day. So from December the 4th to, I want to say, if they go to Sunday, December the 17th, the portal is open. And then that following Wednesday, the 20th, is early signing day. This is another reason why these coaches got a lot on their plates with these next 2 weeks. They got to figure out who's leaving, who's staying, how many people they can take. They don't have a number limit on how many people they can take in their recruiting class, but they got to balance a lot of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So,
hey, Coach, can I ask you a quick question about USC or anybody who knows this? Yeah. I just assume that their roster is way better. Like, is that coaching job that bad? I just assume they have a much better roster. Am I wrong?
I think they got a better roster on offense. I think that's always been leaking, Raleigh. I think they got some players on defense, but if you go like player for player on not their recruit ranking, but what they've actually done on the field, I think Louisville defense can go player for player with, if not better than USC's defense. Now, offensively, it should be an open and shut case. I mean, it's all USC, but like you say, they give up points to the local 7-on-7 team. So I don't know. Coach, what you think about this game, man? The Trojans versus the Cardinals, man.
I picked the Cardinals over the Rubbers.
I got it. I like it. What about you, Andrew? Jeff Brown.
I'm taking Louisville. I don't think Caleb's going to play. And I think USC has no defense. They don't have depth on offense, and especially the offensive line and tight end. They have a great quarterback who's not going to play. They have great running backs. Marshawn Lloyd also, man, that guy has just been invisible for most of the year. I don't understand that.
Underused,
whatever. And also, this is a Lincoln Riley team. My God, all offense, no defense, all gas, no breaks, but they don't win anything. And look, Holiday Bowl. The last time USC was in the Holiday Bowl, they were the number 1 ranked team with Matt Barkley to start this season, and they ended up in the Holiday Bowl. This is the same thing. People picked USC to be in the playoff, and now where are they playing? They're playing the Louisville Cardinals, who are coached by a first-year coach in that program with Brom. Give me the Cardinals. I don't trust the Trojans to do anything.
Did we say USCJ an invite?
Yeah, I did. He said he was in route. He didn't know if he was gonna make it, but I
bet he was.
Hey, look at Big Bumbo gets in and say, "Damn, nobody picked us." Hey, man, it's like that.
And
Bumbo,
that's
man.
Nobody, Bumbo. I was just gonna go ahead and add mine to the end of that.
Go ahead, Jason.
Anybody picking y'all, bro? Ain't no way. So listen,
Bumbo, you ain't even picking them.
You ain't picking you. I was fixing to ask him the same shit. You ain't picking you. I saw so many USC fans were like, I don't even want to play the bowl game. They're so embarrassed and shit.
Well, good thing they're not playing the game. They're fans.
God goodness, yeah, but they're just so embarrassed. It's such a weird thing, though. Look, we talked about this a lot the last few weeks, and the difference is this. You had 17 years of recruiting credit built up, and the way things were, your culture that you had built under Bob Stoops at Oklahoma. It took him longer to kind of run that down to where it got to before he left. He knew it was coming, but see, you didn't have that much. But you go over there and take over USC thinking, and had he not won 11 games in year 1, it might have been a little bit easier on him in year 2, because then they had everybody expecting playoff, right?
Yeah,
I think that's a good point, Jason, especially winning 11 and having the Heisman Trophy winner, all of that, and a lot of those
because they didn't play Oregon, they didn't play Washington, so there's 2 losses that they avoided, and at least 1 out of 2. They probably would have kept them out of that conference championship. Even if you win 9 or something, it's not the same as winning 11 and playing for the conference championship.
That's a good point.
So to me, look, I just think that, but the truth is you can tell very quickly that he didn't have all that stuff that he had at Oklahoma. And when you bring in the same dude that he had on the strength and conditioning coach, and we've talked about that a lot. Look, you could just tell they were soft. They're a soft football team. And one thing that Jeff Brown's teams aren't is soft.
That's true. Definitely.
He don't play soft. And this is the reason that we knew that they were going to take a big time L. Even if Notre Dame was stumbling a little bit, they were going to beat the shit out of USC. We knew they were, because they play physical.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I think, like you say, everybody's taking Louisville. I think Louisville, like Shawty said earlier, man, just program wise, they look like they know more of who they are. Because I don't know what's going on with the Trojans. They need to get it together because they're wasting a lot of offensive talent out there.
And
And
Jim Leonard wanted to bring his own staff, and Lincoln wouldn't let him, and that's why Jim Leonard ain't there. Are you insane?
Yeah. So
let him do whatever the hell he wants.
And not for nothing, there is a shout out to Sandy Gobin. Not for nothing. Lincoln Riley has some talent on the defensive side, individual talent, but they just don't utilize it well. So we'll see what comes of this Holiday Bowl. I think, again, Shawty mentioned it earlier, the committee got it right. They got an up-and-coming program, and Jeff Brom. They got who's supposed to be good program, but they're kind of on the same level in USC and the Trojans, man. So next up is NC State and K-State in the Pop-Tart Bowl. Coach, what you think about this one, man? Hey, I didn't make up the name. It's literally called
I know you did. It's a first-year bowl, but it just sounds so ridiculous.
It was the Cheez-It Bowl last year, I think. I thought it was the one that was the Cheez-It Bowl because Oklahoma played in it.
I promise y'all, I did not make this bowl game. This is literally the name. Hey, shout out to Boom Time for getting in on Jason's channel and asking, think we make the playoffs next season, Jason?
I hope so, but I'm still saying that I and you know what, if they can go 9-3, then they might. You know what I mean? But I think you probably have to hit 10-2. I've been saying that the first year in the SEC could be a tough walk, man. It could be a tough walk there, especially with the schedule that they got. So I'm trying to keep my expectations tempered. Somewhere between 8-4 and 10-2 would be fine with me. I think that 2025 is the year that they really should be that team. I think that's just being honest with you.
I agree with Jason on the 8-4, 10-2. I think that's the expectations. If you do less than 8-4, then you can start, kind of saying, hey, where did we go wrong type deal. But 8-4, I think nobody should be disappointed with that, because
you got to remember that they were gutted. They were gutted.
I've said all along that Texas got the better schedule. OU got the, shit into the stick. So Boom Time, shout out to you for the super chat, man. The Pop-Tart Bowl, Jason. K-State or NC State?
K-State, NC State.
Mom, Dad, I've made it. I want the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Hey.
I think NC State gets beat here. I don't like the ACC much. I think Kansas State wins this game. Yeah.
Sure.
Shawty, what you think on it? Yeah, Jason said K-State over NC State. How about that?
Hey, surprisingly, I just thought he was going the other way because I agree with him.
Okay.
I think Kansas State win this game. I thought I was going to be on the island.
No, I actually think I like K-State in this game too, man. I like what they're doing out there at K-State. So Jeffro Mullet gets in and says K-State is the better team. I'm in agreement. I'm not saying that NC State's a bad team. I just think in this matchup, K-State is the better team. So, I mean, we'll get to see. Andrew, what you think about the Pop-Tart Bowl, man? I know I said it again.
I think it's toasted. Chris Kleiman is a great coach. He made a great leap from FCS to FBS. He's got those guys going. I mean, hey, K-State was playing for the Big 12 championship last year. And then they had that unlucky draw against Alabama, of all people. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Wildcats. I think Dorn did a great job this year with NC State, but I mean, when's the last time NC State has beaten anyone that you expected to? So go Wildcats by 3 or 4.
Listen, and we talked about CU earlier when we mentioned David Toss Buff. He's saying CU to the Pop-Tart Bowl in 2024. I think, whether it's the Pop-Tart Bowl or whatever bowl you want to call it, I think that is the goal for 2024 for Colorado. I think they need to make, if we're showing improvement, you won 4 games this year, and I want to say in at least 2 of the other games you were in it with a chance to win, and you could have been bowl eligible. So the next goal, if you don't want to regress as a program, is 6-6 minimum to make it to a bowl game, and maybe it is a Pop-Tart Bowl game. So, hey, so next bowl game is Wisconsin and LSU in the ReliaQuest Bowl. I think I said that right. ReliaQuest Bowl.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, what do you think, Andrew? Go ahead and give us your take on the Wisconsin Badgers. Luke Fickell, who came out and said that 7-year seniors, in so many words, don't quote me, but he basically said 7-year seniors shouldn't be able to play
And he had a 6-year senior in his freaking quarterback room too. What the hell was that about?
Because he came out and said that what are we doing here when Cam Rising was granted a 7th year of eligibility. But hey, neither here nor there. Andrew, what you think about this LSU Brian Kelly versus Luke Fickell? Listen, they matched up in 2021
years ago
in
Wisconsin.
Cincinnati, Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? Cincinnati, Notre Dame, when Luke Fickell was at Cincinnati and Brian Kelly was at Notre Dame. They matched up in the regular
years
season.
ago, I believe LSU came up to Wisconsin and they lost, and that was a great LSU team. I mean, Wisconsin, it's going to take a long time for them to completely change their identity under Fickell. I mean, honestly, it was a ground and pound. You had so many different great, amazing running backs that are just going in year out. And they get a quarterback that loves passing. And they have a coach that does great passing. Brian Kelly, I mean, do we think Jaden Daniels plays?
I doubt it.
Yeah, this is his last
Then give me Wisconsin.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Then give me Wisconsin.
Unless he wants to take a victory lap or something. I don't know. He kind of seems like the guy. I don't know. These days, I guess if you're off with trying to get, you're definitely going to the draft. So maybe not. I could see maybe not.
I could see him not play, but if he does play, give me LSU. If he does not play, give me Wisconsin. And I think, I mean, he's gonna go to Manhattan. He's gonna go to the Heisman ceremony. He might win. And if a Heisman caliber quarterback is going to either play or not play, that could sway the game right there. So, but give me Wisconsin because I do not believe he's going to play.
I got you. Jason, what you think?
Yeah, I kind of with Andrew on this one probably just because of the fact that LSU just doesn't have a defense. You know, they haven't stopped anybody yet. And so although, you know, Wisconsin's kind of had its up and down times, but that's one thing with Phil Longo and that offensive system that they've got. I could see them, you know, kind of getting in there and I mean everybody scores against them. So I mean they ought to. And if you've got now, then again, that being said, I think that LSU can still score also. I don't think that's really going to be.
I think Nussmeier, he's still there.
Can throw, right? I mean, he's a good ball. He can play a little bit. So,
yeah.
So, you know, I mean, but yeah, I'd probably go with Wisconsin too because I don't know. I just don't think much of without Jaden. I mean, they would have lost a lot of games, right?
Oh yeah.
I think there's a reason why he's the Heisman Trophy winner. Now, if he plays, yeah, it's LSU, but I don't see him playing.
I don't see him playing.
I got you, Coach. What you think about this, man? Your former coach versus Luke Fickell.
Yeah, I take Wisconsin. I don't think that LSU's quarterback plays, and I think it's Wisconsin.
I got you, Shawty. What you got on this one?
Wow, again, man. How far the mighty have fallen. We're talking about a team that has a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Yep.
Playing in what bowl is this?
The Relia
Quest Bowl.
On Shawty Fast Transport. That's the name of my business. I might as well be sponsoring it. So, you know, I'm just joking. But just real talk, man. It's just amazing to hear the quality of athletes that we could have in this game that could be playing and won't be playing. Just the expectation that we have ahead on some of these teams, man, it's just amazing to see how the cookie has crumbled. With that all being said, man,
LSU was a CFP, you know, dark horse, right?
Listen, this is one of the reasons why I think preseason rankings are overrated, and I know you shouldn't even think about rankings until the 7th week of the season where everybody's played half of their game. LSU was a top 10 team. LSU was a top 10 team, and we talked about Clemson earlier. Clemson was a top 10 team coming into the first week of the season. Before
that's why this show has been so great, because a lot of people have made a lot of great points, and you can, you know, bounce this ball on. You know, if you know about tennis, how you have a volley and they go back and forth, because that's some of the points that people were making earlier. That's why we play the games, Coach.
True.
You know, you can be all subjective all you want to, but that's why we play the games, and that's why Florida State is so deserving, because we can say we want to, but hell, they keep winning.
Yeah, all they did.
You know what I'm saying?
All they did was win 13. That's all.
Right. You know, and we've been on both sides. Everybody's probably been on both sides of the court here because it's subjective, and you also want what we want to have. But with that being said, man, I'm gonna go with LSU because I just ultimately think, you know, it's LSU and they should just have a better roster and more athletes, and they should have the better product put out there on the field.
All right, man. You
This
got
used to be
Iowa.
the Outback Bowl, by the way. The Outback Bowl was replaced by the Rely Quest.
Okay, the Rely Quest used to. That's what I was looking for. The Outback. Okay,
I just had to look that up. I didn't get it off the top of my head.
Hey, preach. That's a good one, Andrew. So you didn't know it used to be the Outback Bowl. Now it is the Relia Quest Bowl. This right here is the Citrus
third
Bowl.
Place SEC, right? It's the Outback relegated to third place. SEC.
Yeah, Capital One second.
Capital One Bowl.
Yeah, Capital One was second place, and then I want to say Outback was third place, something like that. Yeah. So when it was the Outback Bowl, especially before the playoffs, it was looked at as a really good bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's, I'm gonna be honest. You change the name because a lot of us grew up on certain names. If you change the name, like when you name something the Pop-Tarts Bowl, we get it. You're naming it based on the sponsor, but when you name it the Pop-Tart Bowl, we
automatically snicker
because previously probably looked at some of the lesser bowls and called them a Pop-Tart Bowl because we're saying that it's a soft, you know what I'm saying? But like, come on, NCAA, help us out, dog. Don't write the jokes for us now. We need some better sponsors, you know what I'm saying? So
January 3rd, Shawty Fast Transport Bowl. I got
right.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying, man. Coach, you got Iowa and Tennessee in the Citrus Bowl. Iowa was just in the Big Ten championship, and Tennessee lost 4 games.
You know what? I still think this is a good ball game. Iowa played pretty well throughout the season, but I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
Okay.
And by the way, one other thing, that gummit Shawty, those damn glasses have had me mesmerized this whole time today.
Hey, listen, you got Iowa.
I just keep looking at Shawty.
Hey, listen, you got Iowa who has a really good defense but can't score, and then you got Tennessee who supposedly has this offense that's really good. So we're gonna see. Again, people will be missing, but you'll get a early look, Jason, at what they might look like. Who you got in the Citrus Bowl?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go with Tennessee, probably on that one too.
Just because they can score at least a touchdown.
Yeah,
just a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? All right, Andrew, Iowa or Tennessee?
7 points will do.
7 points.
Can Tennessee score 10 points? 7 points? 8 points?
They can at least score 10.
All right, Tennessee. Iowa offense is not safe for work. It's the worst. It should be banned. It should be on how they had games on the CW this year. This should only be games on radio. Like, they shouldn't even be allowed to be on a television. So go Tennessee, go Vols, win the game, because all you have to do is score.
Hey, there's a job for Lincoln Riley.
Andrew's cooking today right now. He's cooking. He's been cooking on all of them, bro.
Hey, there's the job for Lincoln Riley, guys.
Oh no, I would rather just quit. I'd rather be the coach of the Chicago Bears or the Los Angeles Chargers. Just call it a day.
There you go, man. So listen,
Citrus Bowl used to mean a lot, but you can't spell citrus without UT, according to
Mr. Steve Spurrier, the legendary.
That was the Spurrier line right there.
It was.
You
man.
cannot spell citrus without UT.
No matter who's sponsoring it, you can't spell citrus without UT. Listen, man, we've gone for 2 hours and talked about all the bowl games, opinions left and right about the top 4 and the New Year's 6. We appreciate everybody getting in, man. There's a lot of conversations still to be had. Bowl season is a long season, and the next couple of days, actually 2 weeks, the portal is about to be on fuego. So make sure you're paying attention to your favorite team. Don't get mad when these guys hit the portal, man. Sometimes their decision, and sometimes it's the coach's decision. So don't just be like, oh, I can't believe they left us. Like, sometimes the coach had to talk with that dude and say, hey, man, it might be better for your career if you go find somewhere else, because here you may not play. So, hey, take that all in stride and know there's a lot of things that go into these guys hitting the portal, man. And at the end of the day, they're trying to find the best solution for everybody, man. Hey, thanks to my panel of all-stars, man. Start with Shawty, man. Tell them where they can find you at, dope.
Oh yeah, man. You can find me on Just My Own Damn Opinion on Wednesday nights at 9:30. I always say opinions are like assholes, and guess what? I got one too. You can also find me on Respect the Hedges on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. And believe it or not, I always say Jason gave me a spot on the sofa. I always have my book bag. You can catch me on Hall of Fame Network sometime with them in the comments on the show with Jason on Hall of Fame Network.
That's it,
Every
man. Y'all
time
make
he
sure y'all
wants to
get
be
out
on.
there.
Oh, and Coach, I ain't get my opinion on the Mississippi game, but it's all good.
Oh,
The
my
last
bad.
game.
bro.
we did.
Oh, you
It's
talking
all
about
good.
the Tennessee game?
Yeah. It's
Go
all
ahead.
good.
Hey, before we go ahead and give your opinion on it.
I swear to
Nah,
God,
I'll just tease. It's all good, man. You know, I just only reason I said it because I think I might be in the opposite of the whole panel.
We need to
The
hear
other
it, then. We
games,
need to hear that.
yeah, the other games had kind of lost me for a little while, but this game pulled me back in. I really think this game is very intriguing. And I
Because
really
of the
think
defense offense matchup.
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I got you.
I love this matchup. I actually like this matchup. Like I said, the last 3-4 games, I was like, whatever. But I like this one. And I really think I will have a shot to win it.
Hey, they got the defense to do it. The thing is, can they move the ball? And I don't think it's just because they've been playing good defenses all year. I just think their offense is just that inept. But you might be right. Who knows? Maybe they get a pick 6 and score 7 and get good field position and get a couple of field.
I just like the matchup for sure.
Yeah. So, hey, good points, man. Good points. Jason from Hall of Fame College Football, man. Tell them where they can find you at.
You can find me right here on Fanatic Sports quite often. We're gonna be doing a lot of work together. I think we've been talking about some cool stuff for the next year that I'm excited to get there with. Of course, you can find the coach and me every Tuesday night at 8:30 right here at CFB-pod on YouTube. That is our live stream that we do every Tuesday. Also, then you can always find us hofmedia.us or on Twitter at JW_HOF. And yeah, man, it's we got a lot of stuff coming up. The portal is going to be popping. It's Flipmas. Get ready for some flips. As far as getting ready to be, it's Flipmas time. So we're gonna a lot to talk about. You know, we're gonna see kind of what happens. I've heard about a really cool flip for Oklahoma. If it goes through, like my buddy says it's going to, that's going to be really good. But in the end, I think, like I was saying, I'm excited about what's coming up. It's going to be a good bowl game, and yeah, good playoff. We're going to have fun with all of it, I think.
That's right, man. And you can find Coach Roy Ball over there at the Hall of Fame College Football. Any closing words, Coach? Any closing words for us?
No, I'm excited about the bowl game season. You know, a little disappointed about the top 4, but it is what it is. We can't change that. And just looking forward to a great bowl season and seeing how well Notre Dame can play with their 2 receivers we have left since everybody's jumping in the portal.
Oh man, that's how it is, Coach. And I think like Coach hit on a good point. If you really like college football, and we all always like, it goes by too fast, you should love college football bowl season because it gives you more games. You know what I'm saying? It may not be the games you wanted, like Coach said, but it's some more games. So hey, enjoy it while it lasts, because this thing is about to be over. Andrew, tell us tell everybody how they can find you, man.
Well, I mean, December 30th, you want to come to the A, I'll be there. Because that's where
Peach Bowl bound, baby.
Peach Bowl bound, baby. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter on Sidelines. I'm working with a couple of co-creators. We're trying to put together a podcast moving forward. I'll probably be a guest with Adam Brenneman for Next Up on Adam, which is great. And now that Penn State is coming to the town, I'm trying to grab some interviews with the players. I can probably meet him at the hotel. I could, do this kind of sort of thing. But no, it's been great. Another great year of college football. I know that the top 4 are not what everyone can agree upon, but hey, that's life. That's football. That's money. That's the, but I appreciate all the support from both our fans and this wonderful panel. And I can't wait to talk again.
That's right, man. Listen, and before we get out of here, the reason why I hadn't had it, because it hadn't updated, but I just see El Paso Times is reporting Oregon State to face Notre Dame in the Tony the Tiger Bowl. I think that's hey, listen again. NCAA,
Come on.
stop writing this.
Sun Bowl.
Stop
That's
writing
the
this.
Sun Bowl, I guess.
That's the
Boston
Sun
Flakes
Bowl.
Bowl.
Yeah.
That's the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Stop giving us jokes and writing them
It's great.
So we know DJU not playing, right? Because he already in the portal, right?
DJU,
man.
listen, DJU is in the portal. So
Yeah.
Oregon State, but like Coach said, they got wide receivers, hitting the portal left and right. So on face value, like if you watch them during the season, I actually like this matchup. You know what I'm saying? Notre Dame versus Oregon State. I think at times Notre Dame has looked better than others for most of the season. And then the same thing for Oregon State. Sometimes we thought Oregon State
stumbled a couple of times, yeah.
This win would probably be more important for Notre Dame, though, right? Because Oregon State lost the coach.
I think for sure, because especially with Coach what he told us earlier in the season about some administration changes that's probably coming to Notre Dame. And listen, I know everybody likes him as a person and everything, but we need to see what Freeman really got. So I think this is a good matchup. Like I said, man. College football fans, I'm looking forward to bowl season. I think somebody asked, when does it start? I think Fatty 71. I think the first bowl game is always December 20th or 21st.
This year it's earlier. It's December 16th. There's like 4 or 5 games. Yeah. It's weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is weird. That's really weird. That's
I'll tell you what, the Sun Bowl is in a freaking cool place. It's a great venue. Coach, you've been there a few times, haven't you? It's a really cool venue.
Yeah.
What?
Definitely we'll be there this year. Maybe I'll get to see Tony. Maybe I'll get to see Tony the Tiger.
It's football.
Hey, that's right, man. So, hey, shout out to everybody that got in on all 3 channels, man. Just My Damn Opinion, Hall of Fame, College Football, and the Fan Addict, man. We had a good panel discussion. Appreciate Boomer Nathan for getting in, man, earlier from the Big 12 Mafia at the Holy Rivals, man. Y'all make sure to get to that channel as well, man. For all the college football fans, listen, get you some sleep, because in the morning it all gets really started officially in that transfer portal. Everybody will be busy. Make sure to get out to these stations, these channels, and check out the content, because it's going to be coming down. Hit that thumbs up, hit the bell notification, so you don't even have to look for the content. It'll just remind you. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, appreciate you, Andrew. Appreciate you, Shawty. Appreciate you, Jason. Appreciate you, Coach. For the Fan Addict, I'm Coach I, and we are up out of here.